Hello, good evening, and welcome to the midweek fix from the LFC Daytrippers. The season is over, so that means some quizzes. And as soon as the whistle went on Sunday, Matt was straight on saying, I'm doing a quiz. I'm doing a quiz on 22-23 in the EPL, the Premier League. And I said, okay, go on then. So, Matt, um, you're the one that's going to get all the blame on this. So that's
Yeah,
sad.
I always do.
Yeah,
I always
so
do.
how many questions?
We got 77 questions tonight. In Canada, we call that a
70,
that's
77.
yeah, that's a Ray Bork's worth of questions. So that's it'll go quick though. I swear it's easy. I wanted to get this out there early because everybody bitched and moaned last year when we did our year-end quizzes that the season was 2 weeks ago. How could we possibly remember? So the
Okay,
last game was 4 days ago. This should all be fresh in your memory. So it'll be
okay.
easy.
It'll be. I don't know if it'll be easy. You told me this the last time, and
Easy.
we were guessing the fucking amount of touches some fella had in the box, for some team. But look, if you're watching, you're very welcome. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you are subscribed, or if you're just about to subscribe, hit the bell icon because as soon as we're going to go live, then you will get a notification. 77 questions. But I think you told me they're like 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. So
Yeah.
it should fly along unless me and you go off on a tangent and don't ask a question for 10 minutes. If you're watching, the link is the pinned comment in the live chat is the link. Okay. If you can't find that, hit the little down arrow as you're watching on YouTube and you will find the link in the show description. When you go onto the link, you're better off doing it on your phone and watching the show on your laptop or your PC or the TV or whatever you want. You should really have two devices going here, okay? Um, when you do go in there, don't worry that it just shows a screen saying quiz and you can't put your name in or anything like that. Matt has assured me that when he advances this quiz, you will get a chance to put your name in. Is there any bonus points?
No, no, there is 76 out of the 77 questions are worth 200 points. The final question is worth 400 points. So there's only two things you got to watch out for. It is entirely multiple choice, four choices for all but two of the questions.
Okay.
There's one question that has six choices, so you might have to scroll down on your phone to select the box. And the final question is you have to write the correct answer in. You have to type it in.
Okay.
So it should give you a box on your phone. When you touch it, it should pop up your keyboard. If you're playing on your computer, you might have to click the box or whatever. You'll have to type it in. I'm hoping I think I gave a pretty decent amount of time for putting the answer in for that. If you get it right, it's an extra 400 points. So all the questions, like normal, are fastest to answer gets the most points.
Okay.
Obviously, incorrect gets you absolutely no points. If you're quick, you should be able to get, I'd say probably 150, 140 will be the quick answers for selecting it on your phone. So just a few things to give everybody a heads up. The answers as I read off your options for each question will not be the same order as on your device that you're playing on. So
Okay.
the order that the answers come in on your device are totally randomized.
Okay.
So you have to give yourself a second and choose the right one. There is probably 10 or 12 questions that have multiple correct answers.
Uh-huh.
So you'll see for, let's say, the very first question, you have four options. If you click one and then you click another one, it'll move the dot down. You can only choose one answer. For the multiple correct answer questions, there's check boxes and you can check and uncheck the boxes as you go. So the way the scoring works for the ones that have multiple correct answers is if you only get one correct, you still get partial points. If you get them both correct, you get full points based off of your time. But if you select one correct and one wrong, no points.
Okay.
No, you get nothing
Listen,
for
listen.
giving any wrong
We
answers.
could explain this forever, and people are still going to complain. So let's take the complaint. We just take we won't take the complaints. We just tell people to fuck off, and
Right,
that's how we usually
completely
work.
ignore them.
Veranda
Yeah.
Cheese says, "My God, 77 question is Matt on the Canadian scratcher. The scratcher, of course, being social welfare, no job. No,
Oh,
Matt has a full time job, but he spends a
yeah.
lot of it walking around, and a lot of thinking time by the looks of it. So." I'm gonna do this as we go, right? Emmett says the rules are longer than the quiz. Now, Emmett, go and fuck yourself, right? Because if we didn't tell you these rules, 4 questions in, you'd be going, oh, you never told me about this and you never told me about that. It's 77 questions. Sit down, have a cup of tea, a beer, whatever it is. We're having a laugh on a Wednesday night. This is how the summer's going to go, by the way. Just
That's
ridiculous
right. Get
stuff.
settled in.
Kieran B says, ask the fucking questions. Relax, Kieran. Relax, we're giving people a chance to come in.
I'm trying to vamp here a little bit. I see we got about 30 people logged into the quiz so far. I figure a few people might still be watching the Europa League final, which is going to extra time. But you know what? To hell with them.
Yeah, well, if they're watching Jose
quiz.
Mourinho teams playing football instead of us, we don't need them, to be honest with you. Right, Megan McCallion says this should be good crack. At last, a bit of positivity. Everyone else just giving out. So, Matt, I'm going to log in here. Hold on now. So
all right, everybody get your AHA slides open.
Yes, I have that open.
You should be getting the option now to put your player name
enter my name.
There you go. So we got time. We can wait here. There's, not no rush, but it's not like this is timed.
Okay.
Kieran Thorne, Emmett, Manu Kone in the chat. I like to see that. Wayne Stewart, Martin Byrne, Megan McCallion, always good for positivity. Stephen Murphy. Oh, they're flying in now. Joseph Ankale, Leon. See a lot of regular names. See some names that I don't quite recognize, which is always good to see. So welcome to the channel, everybody. The quiz tonight, of course, is brought to you by bookmakers.com. So if while you're waiting for the finals to come up here over the weekend or any of the other sports going on, we're getting into cricket season properly. If you want to put down a little wager, head on over to the show sponsor, bookmakers.com. Get the best odds on all that. But, of course, do it responsibly or don't do it at all. All right.
Veranda Cheese is in great form tonight. He says, is there going to be another animal attack during the quiz? Now, Veranda Cheese, right? I know Veranda Cheese, and he thinks it's the best thing he's ever seen on the internet. And every so often he just says to me, go on, go and find that thing on Matt with his cat. We're hoping not. I think he's moved to a room where animals aren't allowed.
No, the animals are just all asleep. It's unbelievably hot in Ontario today. It's like 33 degrees. So
we had 23 degrees here yesterday, and we were like all melting and telling people it was too hot.
Yeah, your guys' heat waves. All right, here we go. So this is the season just passed. It is not Liverpool specific. You got to have a pretty wide, broad base of knowledge, but this should all be fresh in your memories. Here comes the quiz. Question 1. What was the first game of the season? Who played Friday night? Was it Brentford against Arsenal, Palace against Arsenal, Everton against Chelsea, or Palace against Everton? Ooh, confused a fair number of people. Brentford versus Arsenal was, of course, the season before last, 21-22. This season, it was Crystal Palace against Arsenal. See? Simple, easy. We're going to start flying through these. Who scored the first goal of the season in possibly that game? Was it an own goal? Saka, Jesus, or Martinelli? Pretty good separation there.
Yeah, I
Gabriel
had the wrong answer.
Martinelli. There we go. That's what I like to hear. Question number 3. Who was top of the table after game week 1? Which team sat top of the table? City, Arsenal, Spurs, or Chelsea? Only 8 people with the correct answer of Spurs. Spurs were top by virtue of goal difference. They beat Southampton 4-1. It was the only game with a 3-goal margin in the first week. How many players this year played all 3,420 minutes of the league? Was it 3, 4, 5, or 6 players that didn't miss a minute of Premier League football this year?
That's just a pure guess. Oh my God, as well.
Only 7 people with the correct answer of 4 players.
Who were the 4?
All 34-20. Well, you think that's not a question? How many of those 4 players were goalkeepers? 1, 2, 3, or 4 out of the 4 ever-present players.
3 of them.
The correct answer is 3. The 3 keepers were David De Gea, Aaron Ramsdale, and David Raya. Played every minute. All right. We've reached the end of the first round. We get to our leaderboard. McGlinchey takes his first name off, especially for me. I very much appreciate that.
672 points from 5 questions.
Hey, when you get them all right and you answer them quickly, you can put up big scores. I mean, even the young kids like Kevin Ball are able to put up 620. Jack, TB Pro, 471. Red Steve is my hero.
That's Jack from the Talking
Talking Balax Pod. He's not at a huge disadvantage here because this isn't a Liverpool-specific quiz. So let's see. Where's Gav?
Or I'm 9th. I'm the transfer Grinch in 9th.
That makes sense. You are indeed that. All right. We're now getting into team leaders categories. So we will have 3 categories of 20 questions each category. 1 for every team. Makes sense, right? We're going to do the league leader in number of league minutes played, not including goalkeepers, because it's pretty much always the fucking goalkeeper. Then we're going to do goals and then assists. Little bit of a wrench thrown in for the goals and assist categories, but we'll get to that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
First category. Who had the most minutes for Arsenal this year? Excluding goalkeepers. Was it Gabriel, Saka, Odegaard, or Ben White?
Gabriel.
Ooh, man, I thought that was going to be a slam dunk. Gabriel Magalhaes had 9 minutes from having a full season.
Oh,
he
nice.
basically played every single minute. So guess the format here, folks. Who had the most minutes for Aston Villa? Was it Mings, Watkins, Konza, or Douglas Luiz? And they were actually the team leader. Emi Martinez had fewer minutes than this person.
God.
Ezri Konza led Aston Villa in minutes played. You're going to learn the alphabetical order of the teams. I certainly had. Who has the most league minutes for Bournemouth? Billing, Solanke, Smith, or Lerma? Ooh, down the wrong way.
Oh, God. This is badly gone, badly wrong, this is.
Jefferson Lerma. Everybody's giving lots of love for Phil Billing. Look at that. And after Bournemouth comes Brentford. Of course, David Raya had all the minutes played, so this is second on Brentford. Rico Henry, Ben Mee, Ivan Toney, or Brian Mbumo? This was a little easier. I'm expecting big scores here. Yeah, very good. Very good. Ben Mee. He had a good season for him. That's a good signing, Ben Mee proved for Brentford. After Brentford is Brighton. Who had the most league minutes for Brighton? Alexis McAllister, Lewis Dunk, Pascal Gross, or Moises Caicedo? Grob. It was, in fact, Grob. He had 6 more minutes than Lewis Dunk.
I was going to go for Dunk and change to Gross. Pascal Gross.
Oh, very clever. Little Liverpool connection there with Alexis McAllister. Lovely, lovely. Who had the most league minutes for Chelsea? It's not a high number. It's 2,578. Was it Thiago Silva, Raheem the Snake, Koulibaly, or Havertz? Kai. Hit him with a hatchet. Kai Havertz. See, we just zip on through.
Kieran B is very upset.
Oh, no. Crystal Palace. Who had them? Why is he upset?
I'll tell you now.
Palace minutes leader. Tyreek Mitchell, Doucouré, Anderson, or Gahey?
He's upset because he doesn't like this whole minutes thing.
Hey, you get through the minutes and then you get into the goals. So
and people are saying that their phone is so far ahead of where they're watching it. You will get a big delay. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. You're hearing me on echo, so don't worry about it. Who had the most league minutes for the Ev?
Oh, this is hard.
It wasn't Was it Iwobi, Tarkovsky, Mikalenko,
Oh,
or
I'm about to do it
Donna?
wrong. I'm about to pick the wrong player. Yeah, I picked the wrong player.
The only outfield player to play every single minute this year. So along with the three keepers, James Tarkovsky didn't miss a single minute for the Ev. Another good signing, as it turns out. Fulham. F comes after E. Most minutes for Fulham this year. Tim Ream, Harrison Reed, Anthony Robinson, or Joao Palhinha?
That's a hard question. That's a hard one,
It
Fulham.
is. It is.
Palhinha.
Joao Palhinha. Very, very good player. And Leeds. Team leader in minutes for Leeds. Jack Harrison, Brendan Aronson, Robin Koch, or Mark Rocca? Robin Koch. About half of the people got that one right, so well done, everybody. Halfway through the first category leaderboard.
Miles behind.
McGlinchey still sitting strong. Jack from Talking Ballocks has moved up into second. Kevin Ball falling behind. Barry Devaney, what a round. Almost 1,100 points. That is impressive. Very impressive. Transfer Grinch, now you're moving up in the world.
One spot I've moved, Matt. Relax.
Hey, you bumped Red Steve is my hero down, so that's okay. Powering through. After Leeds comes Leicester. Most league minutes for Leicester.
Oh shit, I'm about to lose me. Oh, here we go.
Woke Face, Harvey Barnes, Timothy Castagna, or James Madison?
Castagna.
Timothy Castagna. Pretty good bounce back season for him after pretty much missing all the last one with injury. This one's simple. Who had the most league minutes for Liverpool? Not including Allison, who did have the lead. Was it Virgil, Trent, Mo, or Fabinho?
Oh, that's a pick of the wrong player. Oh no, I got it.
Mo Salah, 3,294 minutes, about a half hour less than Allison. Man City, not a huge number this one either. Who had the most league minutes for Man City this year? Was it Holland, De Bruyne, Gundogan, or Rodri? 2,920 minutes, about 5.5 games short. Rodri is the correct answer. Nobody believes in KDB.
You just know somebody has this open on Google somewhere.
If they can Google it as quick as I go through the questions, well done to them. I mean, there's no prizes. Most minutes for United. Was it Dalot, Shaw, Rashford, or Bruno?
Bruno.
Another easy one. Bruno. The guy is hateable and has an extremely punchable face, but he does not miss a whole lot of football. That guy is durable. The other United, who had the most league minutes for Newcastle? Byrne, Botman, Schär, or Trippier? All of the answers, by the way, are the top four. So how solid was Newcastle's defense all year? Trippier. There wasn't a huge amount of difference between those four players. Like Newcastle really rolled out the same back five every single week. Who had the most minutes for Notts Forest?
They've about 40 players.
Was it Morgan Gibbs-White, Brendan Johnson, Tom Worrell, or Renan Lodi? That's Worrell's first name. Morgan Gibbs-White had about a half hour more than Brendan Johnson did, but only 2,800 minutes. Not a lot. Who had the most minutes for bottom of the table? And I told you so, Saints. Kyle Walker-Peters, James Ward-Prowse, Lavia, or El Yunusi? Another easy one. James Ward-Prowse. Almost ever present. Who had the most minutes for Spurs? 14 minutes short of a full season. Harry Kane, Højbjerg, Son, or Dyer?
Kane played every minute bar 14 minutes this season.
Yep.
Fucking hell. Like, he just doesn't want to be
Yeah.
taken off, does he?
No, that's how you end up bagging 30 goals. Who had the most league minutes for West Ham? Jared Bowen, Declan Rice, Thomas Suchek, or Aaron Cresswell?
Oh, I'm about to pick in the wrong player.
Declan Rice. Declan Rice, 32-72. One more, last one of the first round of 20. Who had the most league minutes for Wolves? Max Kilman, Ruben Neves, Nelson Semedo, or Matheus Nunes?
Oh, Kilman.
Max Kilman. So let's see how everybody is done. The bang average leaderboard. McGlinchey with another
I'm
strong,
down to 23rd
round.
after that.
Looks like you only did your homework for the first half of the table there, Gav. That's not great. So yeah, McGlinchey's really pulling out ahead. He's got a 330-point lead over Jack from Talking Ballocks, Kevin Ball, Kieran Thorne, Barry Devaney round out the top 5. We got Mohammed, Motherwell Red, Wayne Stewart, Red Steve is my hero, and Adders rounding out your top 10. So, goals galore.
Is this all in the same order again?
Yeah, it's all in the same order again.
Right, okay.
I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I had to do this quickly. Okay, for certain teams, it is dead obvious who their top scorer is. So I'm not going to ask that. That's way too easy to ask who's Man City's top scorer. Everybody knows that it's Haaland. So you'll need to identify their second top scorer.
In the league?
In the league. League only. This is all league only.
Okay.
If there's 2 players that are tied for the most amount of goals or the second most amount of goals, you'll have the option to select more than one correct answer. But if you get any wrong, you get no points. If you get partial answers right, you get partial points. There we go. Instructions on the screen. Brrr. Arsenal. Who is the top league goal scorer for Arsenal this year? Pretty obvious candidates. Martinelli, Jesus, Odegaard, or Saka? Two correct answers there. Martin Odegaard and Gabriel Martinelli both had 15 goals in the league this year. What a season from Odegaard. Ollie Watkins has 15 to lead Villa. But besides him, who was Villa's top goal scorer? Was it Danny Ings, Jacob Ramsey, Emi Buendia, or Douglas Luiz? Another question with multiple possible answers. There was 3 correct answers. Danny Ings, Jacob Ramsey, and Douglas Luiz all had 6 goals.
So hold on that one I could have picked 3 players.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that have the little check boxes, you can pick as many answers as you think are correct. But if you pick one wrong answer, you get nothing. You get nothing.
Cool. All right.
Moving on. Who was that? Villa, which makes this Bournemouth. Who was the leading league goal scorer for Bournemouth? Solanke, Lerma, Billing, or Tavernier? See how much homer advantage there was. Yeah, most of the people went with Dom Solanke, but actually Phil Billing had 7. Solanke had 6. The other 2 guys had 5 apiece. Ivan Toney had 20 goals to lead Brentford, but besides him, who was their top league goal scorer? Josh Da Silva, Brian Mbumo, Johan Wissa, or Pontus Jensen? This is an easy one. Very good. Everybody pretty much with Brian Mbumo. 9 goals for him. Johan Wissa had 7. Jensen had 5. Josh Da Silva 4. Who was the top league goal scorer for Brighton? Was it Mitoma, March, McAllister, or Gross? The correct answer. Alexis McAllister hit 10 goals this year. Gross had 9, and the other 2 guys had 7 each. This is very educational. You learn a lot. Who is the top league goal scorer for Chelsea this year in the league? Was it Joao Felix, Raheem the Snake Sterling, Kai Havertz, or Conor Gallagher? He led them in minutes. He led them in goals. Kai Havertz had 7. Sterling had 6. Joao Felix had 4
Chelsea's
in half
top
a season.
scorer had 7 goals.
yeah, it's not good.
In the hell.
Yeah, there's a reason why Chelsea's down in 12th. Who was top league goal scorer for Crystal Palace? Perennial favorite Wilf Zaha, Odson Edouard, Jordan Ayew, or Easy Eberizi Eze? For the first time in Donkeys, it's not Zaha. Eze had 10, Zaha 7, Odson Edouard had 5.
Eze is a great player.
Yeah, he's really good. And another good bounce back season from a bad injury the year before. Who was the top league goal scorer for the EV? Was it Abdoulaye Doucouré, Demarai Gray, Dwight McNeil, or Dominic Calvert-Lewin? The correct answer is Dwight McNeil, which is funny because he was an answer in my quiz from last year of which player had the most shots on target without scoring.
Yeah, doesn't he get a hat trick away at Brighton? He might get 2 away at Brighton.
He got at least 2. He ended the year with 7. Doucouré had 5. Demarai Gray had 4. Anthony Gordon, who I didn't even put on here, scored 3 goals for Everton. Calvert-Lewin had 2 goals.
Yeah.
Oof, not good. This is an obvious one. Mitrovic led Fulham. He had 14 goals, but after him, who led the league in scoring for Fulham? Pereira, Vinny Knott Jr., Willian, or Manu Solomon? The 2 correct answers were Willian and Vinicius, Carlos Vinicius, with 5 goals each. So a pretty big drop-off after Mitrovic there. Rodrigo had 13 goals to lead Leeds. Who had the most after him in the league? Was it Bamford, Sinisterra, Harrison, or Somerville? You get a couple of correct answer choices. Good, strong results there. Jack Harrison and Luis Sinisterra both had 5 goals. Bamford and Crescencio Somerville had 4. The goals are at a premium leaderboard. McGlinchey did not have such a good round that time, but Kieran Thorne had a great round, jumping
I'm up to 14th.
Oh, there you go. You're on the comeback now. See, you needed it. It's the first half of the table again. You're going to fall apart in the next 10 questions. Mohammed breaking into the top 5 with a good round there. So you see how this goes. See? Easy, quick. 77 questions we're flying through. We're almost halfway. Who was the top league goal scorer for Leicester? Was it Daka, Iheanacho, Barnes, or Madison?
Barnes.
Harvey Barnes had 13 goals. Madison only picked up 10. Iheanacho 5. Daka 4. Vardy finally falling off that cliff. Another player that bounced back from a bad injury. Mo Salah led Liverpool with 19, but after Mo, who was Liverpool's top league goal scorer this year? Was it Jota, Bobby, Darwin, or Cody Gakpo? Oh, disappointing Liverpool fans. Bobby Firmino in his final season for Liverpool had 11 league goals. 11. Darwin had 9. Gakpo and Jota both had 7, which is enough to lead Chelsea. Erling Haaland had 36, but after him, who had the most league goals for Man City? De Bruyne, Foden, Julian Alvarez, or Ilkay Gundogan? With 11, the correct answer is Phil Foden. Surprised me how many goals Foden picked up this year. Alvarez had 9, Gundogan 8, De Bruyne 7.
Does Foden get a hat-trick in that 6-1 against United?
Possibly.
Or 6-3.
Marcus Rashford led Man United. He had 17 goals. Who was after Rashford in league scoring for United? Anthony Martial, Jadon Sancho, Bruno, or Anthony? Bruno. Almost everybody getting that one. Bruno had 8. Sancho and Martial both had 6. Anthony and Casemiro with 4 goals apiece. So, Darwin Núñez, twice as many league goals as Anthony. Perspective. Callum Wilson led Newcastle with 18 goals. Who was after him in league scoring? Was it Bruno Guimaraes, Miguel Almiron, Alexander Isak, or Joel Inton? Be another easy one.
Almiron. Yeah, he had a great start to the season, didn't he?
He did. And then Isak comes in halfway through the season and puts in 10 goals. He got 10. Almiron had 11. Who led Nottingham Forest in goals in the league this year? Morgan Gibbs-White, Brennan Johnson, Taiwo Awoniyi, or Danilo? The X-Red Taiwo hit 10 goals this year. Brennan Johnson had 8, Gibbs-White 5. Who is the top league goal scorer for Southampton? Che Adams, James Ward-Prowse, Carlos Alcaraz, or Adam Armstrong? Wow. Everybody knew that one. James Ward-Prowse had 9 league goals this year. Che Adams 5. Alcaraz had 4. Didn't score a lot of goals. Finished dead last. Harry Kane had 30 goals for Spurs. After Kane, who led Spurs in league scoring this year? Bentancur, Højbjerg, Porro, or Son? Another easy one. Easy one. Yeah, Heung-min Son had 10 goals. Bentancur had 5. Højbjerg 4. And Pedro Porro had 3. 2 to go. Who was the top league goal scorer for West Ham this year? Bowen, Benrahma, Antonio, Paqueta. Jared Bowen and Said Benrahma both had 6 goals in the league for West Ham this year. Yeah, Antonio had 5. Paqueta and Rice both had 4. But I mean, 6 goals.
Yeah.
And who was the top league goal scorer for Wolves? This is even worse. Was it Hwang Hee-chan, Daniel Podence, Ruben Neves, or Matheus Cunha? Two correct answers were Daniel Podence and Ruben Neves, both with 6 goals. Chan was their 3rd highest league goal scorer with 3. I mean, I think they scored, less than a goal a game, 37 out of the 38 games. So the goals win games leaderboard, and McGlinchey does not know his goal leaders very well. He's really fallen down the ranks. Kieran Thorne is up to first place after a round of 1,600 points, which is incredibly good. Mohammed into 2nd, Motherwell Red into 4th, Jack from Talking Ballocks is into 5th, Kevin Ball 6th, Sam Tandy 7th, Luke is in 8th, Barry Devaney is in 9th, and Emmett making his first appearance in the top 10. Let's see, where's the Grinch? Where's the Grinch? Oh, we're going down a ways now. Oh, 22nd. Oh, there's 2 transfer Grinches. All right. Help me. These are the assist leaders. Same rule applies as in the goal category. Who had the most league assists for Arsenal this year? Granit Xhaka, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, or Leandro Trossard, who I believe had, 2 hat tricks of assists. Bukayo Saka had 11 assists for Arsenal. Trossard racked up 10 assists for Arsenal in half a season, or the second half of the season at least, which is pretty incredible for him. Aston Villa. League assist leader for Aston Villa. Was it Douglas Luiz, Jacob Ramsey, Ollie Watkins, or Leon Bailey? Sign the kid. Jacob Ramsey had 8 league assists for Villa this year. A little bit of a breakout for him. Who had the most league assists for Bournemouth this year? Was it Tavernier, Dango Utara, Lewis Cook, or Dom Solanke? Big Dom Solanke had 7 assists in the league this year for Bournemouth, which is pretty good. Tavernier with second with 4. Bournemouth leads into Brentford. Who had the most league assists for Brentford? Ivan Toney, Brian Mbumo, Pontus Jensen, or Johan Wissa?
It's definitely easy to cheat on this quiz. Like, you could just Google up assists, most assists in the league, and just go through them. Mbumo. Interesting.
Oh, yes. Brian Mbumo had, I don't want to give that answer away because this is for the next question. Who led Brighton in assists? I mean, if you want to cheat in this quiz, go right ahead. That's the worst bragging rights ever. Sully March, Purvis Estupinian, Cairo Matoma, or Pascal Grab? Grab had 8 assists. So I think he had, 9 goals and 8 assists or something like that. It's a solid little season he had there. Matoma only had 5, even though everybody favored him. Who had the most assists in the league for Chelsea? Was it Ziyech, Enzo Fernandez, Mason Mount, or Raheem Sterling? Can you get a couple correct answers on this one, maybe? Yes, the 2 correct answers were Raheem Sterling and Hakim Ziyech, who both had 3 assists in the league for Chelsea. It's like Chelsea did not score a lot of goals. Frank Lampard is a football genius. Who had the most league assists for Crystal Palace? Eberizi Eze, Michael Elise, Jordan Ayew, or Cheick Doucouré? So are we going to see a big improvement in your score this round, Gav? You're cheating?
No, being awful this round.
Michael Elise had 11 league assists for Crystal Palace. So another one of the reasons why Kev O'Sullivan is a big admirer of him. Palace leads into the EV. Who had the most league assists for the EV? Onana, Iwobi, Doucouré, or McNeil?
Iwobi.
Alex Iwobi had 7 assists in the league for Everton this year. Who had the most league assists for Fulham? Andreas Pereira, Willian, Kenny Tete, or Harrison Reed?
Pereira.
Andreas Pereira had 6. Willian and Kenny Tete both had 5. He started the season so well. I had him in my fantasy team for the first probably 10 games of the year, and he was consistent point getter. Pereira was really flagged, like Fulham did towards the end. Who had the most league assists for Leeds? Willie Nanto, Brendan Aronson, Crescencio Somerville, or Jack Harrison?
The problem with these is I can't remember any of these teams scoring goals. Can't remember any goals.
A lot of
them
didn't. A lot of them didn't. Jack Harrison led Leeds with 7 assists. Willie Nanto had 4 from that real purple patch he had right around when we played them. The Allison to Salah assist leaderboard.
Kieran Tom, 1,400 points. Would you stop it?
Yeah, he had almost 1,600 last round. He's dominating. He's absolutely crushing.
There's no way people aren't fucking having this up on Google somewhere. I'm sorry. You can't know all them assists. Well, keep going.
Educated guesses. Kieran Thorne, Mohammed, Motherwell Red, McGlinchey, and Jack from Talking Ballocks make up our top 5. We got 10 more to go and then a few fun ones to end it out. Who had the most league assists for Leicester this year? Was it Kelechi Iheanacho, Patson Daka, Jamie Vardy, or James Maddison? See, this one was easy. I probably should ask for second place on this one. Yeah, pretty much everybody getting that right. James Maddison, 9 league assists. Who had the most league assists for Liverpool Football Club this year? Pretty simple. Mo, Trent, Robbo or Bobo?
Bobo.
Yeah. Mo Salah had a dozen league assists. Trent with a late surge takes him up to 9. Robertson at 8. And Bobby, Jota, and Simicast all had 4. I don't believe it got mentioned on either the full-time Reds or your Fatback 4 you did after the end of the season. But Liverpool now has the 2 top assisting defenders in the Premier League playing for them. Trent passed Leighton Baines into second place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Robertson's first by I think 3, like 55 or 54 to 52 or something like that. Yeah, he just passed Leighton Baines, so they're 1-2 in that record book now.
Wow.
Man City, obviously Holland or De Bruyne led them. He had 16. Who had the second most assists? Just to make it a little more interesting, was it Holland, Grealish, Rodri, or Riyad Mahrez? The correct answer was Riyad Mahrez. A lot of people liking Jack
So
Grealish.
underrated in that team, Mahrez.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to kick up a fuss or anything like that. Like, he's
so
not a
underrated. Like,
starter.
he's very rarely spoken about, but he's so underrated in that team.
Yeah, he had 10 league assists this year, which is a pretty good return. Shockingly, third on City. So it was KDB had 16, Mahrez had 10, and Holland had 8 assists to go along with his 36 goals. He might win player this season. Who had the most league assists for Manchester United? Was it Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, or Marcus Rashford? Multiple correct answers here.
I keep forgetting the multiple thing.
Technology these days. Bruno Fernandes and Christian Eriksen both had 8 league assists this year. So the same amount as Andrew Robertson, just to put it into perspective. Kieran Trippier led Newcastle with 7. Who had their most assists besides Kieran Trippier? Was it Callum Wilson, Joe Willock, Bruno Guimaraes, or Alan Saint-Maximin?
Willock.
It was, in fact, Joe Willock with 6. Yeah, the other 3 guys had 5, but yeah. Just completely forgotten about at Arsenal. Making a good career for himself there. Who had the most league assists for Notts Forest? Was it Morgan Gibbs-White, Brendan Johnson, Emmanuel Dennis, or Danilo? Correct answer was Morgan Gibbs-White with 8 league assists, which is pretty good for record signing for them. Southampton, last time they'll be in one of these quizzes for at least a year. Who led Saints in assists? Shea Adams, Carlos Alcaraz, James Ward-Prowse, or Theo Walcott? Mr. Southampton himself.
Oh my God! So he had the most minutes, most goals, and most assists for Southampton.
Yeah, he's a player. I mean, he's unquestionably Premier League level. And looking at these numbers going through this, of like, boy, they have a lot to replace in him in the Championship next year if they're going to plan on bouncing right back up. It's a huge player for them. After Southampton comes Spurs. Who had the most league assists for Spurs? Was it Kulusevski, Son, Højbjerg, or Perisic? Shockingly, Harry Kane not in the top 4 for assists for Spurs. The correct answer, Ivan Perisic, the man who time forgot. He had 8 league assists. Kulusevski, who nobody picked, it was actually second on the team with 7. Heung-min Son had 6. Højbjerg had 5. Ticking through. Who had the most league assists for West Ham? Was it Said Benrahma, Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio, or Lucas Paqueta? Jared Bowen with 5. So he led West Ham in goals and assists as well. And I believe this is the final one for this round. Who had the most league assists for Wolves? Was it Matheus Nunes, Ruben the Sandwich Neves, João Moutinho, or Big Greasy Adama Traore? The correct answer was João Moutinho, who, guess how many assists Moutinho had in the league this year, Gav?
2.
2. Are you cheating?
No, I got the question wrong. But I was
Oh.
just going with 2.
Yeah, 2. He had 2 assists in the league. Oh man, that team was dreadful. Kieran Thorne slowed down a little bit in that round, but still strong lead at the top by 1,400 points over Mohammed. Motherwell Red into third. Jack from Talking Ballocks is fourth, and McGlinchey getting back up to his perch. He is in fifth place. Let's see. Bailey Jones doing well. Kevin Ball, Luke Emmett into ninth. Stephen Murphy, Sam Tandy, Barry Devaney, Leon, Megan, Adders, Red Steve is nobody's hero. Gav down in 17th.
And I'm not knocking my
Bonkers
phone off by
LFC.
mistake. Oh, no, I'm okay. I'm back.
Oh. All right, we're into the home stretch now. The last, I think, 10 questions, maybe 11 questions. Question number Trent of 77. How many red cards were shown in the league this year? All teams combined. How many red cards? 26, 28, 30, or 32? The correct answer was 30. So there's going to be a little bit of a theme coming here. Which team was shown the most red cards? Was it Spurs, Palace, Chelsea, or Wolves? Which team saw the most red cards? Ooh, the majority of everybody got that one right. Wolves. Very well done. So, just to pay a little bit of attention coming into this next question, you have 6 options. So you might have to scroll down on your screen. You got the checkbox to choose multiple correct answers. So the next one has multiple correct answers. The question is, choose the Wolves players that got red carded this year. So you should have 6 options. I should have given you guys more time there. Oh, no. There you go. Your options are Nelson Semedo, Johnny, Nathan Collins, Diego Costa, Mario Lemina, or Matthias Nunes. So choose all the players who you think were shown a red card. Gesundheit. It was a trick question. They all got red carded this year. Wolves had 6 different players get red carded this year, which is a lot. But of course, they had Diego Costa on their team, so that makes sense. Out of the 30 red cards that were shown, only 1 player was red carded twice this year. Which player got 2 reds? Was it Mario Lemina, Tyler Adams, Casemiro, or Johnny? Everybody caught on to that one. The correct answer, Casemiro. I don't even know how it's possible. He never once got a red card while he played in Spain. This is madness. Question 70. Which team was shown the most yellow cards? Which team? Was it Wolves, Forest, Leeds, or Palace? Correct answer was Leeds. Well done, everybody. Leeds were shown 89 yellow cards. Wolves 85, Forest 84, Palace 82. 89. That is a lot. It's well more like what, 2.5 a game.
Yeah, nearly.
Which team was shown the fewest yellows? Was it Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, or West Ham? There was 2 correct answers in this round, and the correct answers were Man City and West Ham, who had 44 yellow cards this season. So to put that in perspective, Leeds had twice as many.
Yeah.
Twice as many. Mental. Arsenal was second in the list. They had 51, and Liverpool were tied with Brentford with 57. Second to last leaderboard, Kieran Thorne did well in that round. Mohammed Motherwell Red, McGlinchey back up into 4th. He's coming on strong. It's the home stretch now. Jack from the Ballocks pod rounding out the top 5. We're into our final 5 questions. Which team scored the most penalties in the league this year? Was it Brighton, Brentford, Man City, or Newcastle? And of course, the correct answer was Man City, who scored 9 penalties in the league this year. Could have been more. They definitely missed at least one or two. Which team scored the fewest penalties in the league this year? Was it Liverpool, Southampton, Crystal Palace, or Leeds? Two correct answers. Palace and Leeds had one penalty apiece in the league this year. Liverpool and Southampton had two. Doesn't help when you miss two in a row, though, I guess. Which team used the fewest number of players in the league to play at least a minute? Arsenal, Aston Villa, Brentford, or Man City? Figured Arsenal would be a popular choice. Brentford makes sense. The correct answer is Manchester City. You want to guess how many players Man City played at least 1 minute in the Premier League this year, Gav?
18.
Oh, that would be insane. It was 24. 24. And I think two of those were less than a game, like, throw on at the end of a game, 7-minute job sort of thing. Like, that's not even a full squad. Brentford used 25. Arsenal, Aston Villa, Man United, and Crystal Palace all used 26 players this year. So the flip side of that coin is obviously going to be which club used the most different players in the league this year? Obvious great choices: Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Southampton.
Has to be Forest. How was it not Forest? Sounds about 40
Shockingly,
players.
nobody got that one right. Nobody got it right. It helps that Southampton threw out, I think, 3 debutants against us in the last game of the year. They were giving 16-year-old kids run out at the end of the year. So Southampton used 36 different players this year. Forest used 33. Wolves and Chelsea both used 32. And maybe I'm drawing conclusions that don't need to be drawn, but the teams that used the fewest players were all on the top of the table, and the teams that used the most were all at the bottom of the table. So It's another one of those things that goes along with goals. Second to last question: how many players played in the league for Liverpool this year? Did Liverpool use 27, 28, 29, or 30 different players? Just kind of right down Main Street. Pretty average amount of players to be using. 28 different players played for Liverpool this year. And now that brings us to our final question, which is a type in the answer question. So you should get a little prompt that allows you to bring up your keyboard and type in your answer. I'm hoping you got more than 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure I juiced the time up on this one, but I might not have. We'll just have to find out. The final question, it is worth 400 points, so we might see a little bit of movement here. You need to write the last name of the player who played the fewest league minutes this year for Liverpool. So you got 20 seconds. We need the last name of the player who played the fewest league minutes for Liverpool this year. Ooh, participants are typing, and they have 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Not a single person got the correct answer of Bobby Clark played 7 minutes.
Well,
he played 7 minutes for us this year. Arthur Melo, of course, didn't play in the league at all for Liverpool this year. So let's see, what other answers did we get thrown in here? Doak, Melo, Keita, Arthur, Adrian, Carvalho, Bacetic, Gomez, Kelleher, Chamberlain, Phillips. Yeah, even Kelleher, I think, was third last with his 90 minutes from the game on Sunday. So it went Bobby Clark, then Ben Doak, then Queven Kelleher. Ramsey, of course, never made a league appearance for us this year. Rather anticlimactic, that final question. Oh, you guys did not do well in that last round. But Jack from the Ballux pod gets up into third place. Mohammed takes second, and Kieran Thorne runs away with it. Secretariat here with 8,828 points. Very well done, Kieran Thorne. Who's left here? Motherwell Red, fourth. McGlinchey into fifth. Bailey Jones. Oh, hey, I want to see if this... Give me the option. No. See, I've got this call option in here now. I don't know if I should just pick a name out at random. Somebody want to answer the phone? Call Emmett.
Leave it there. Leave it there. Does he come up on screen, his head and everything?
It should. It did when I tested it out with my missus. So
I think Emmett's out.
yeah, Emmett's chest deep in a kiddie pool full of booze. So
ring Stephen Murphy.
I just learned of this feature the other day. It's a really catchy jingle.
No one's answering.
No, nobody wants to talk.
No.
It's just me and
Ring
you.
me just to see what happens.
Oh, where are you? I got to scroll all the way to the bottom.
20 something. There I am. 18th I finished. No, that's not it. That's not me.
Oh. It says Gav.
It's that one there.
Well, there's two of them. Transfer Grinch, Gav. That screams Avo.
Oh, there's nothing coming up on my phone.
Really? Oh, it worked with my wife. She was on her computer, though. Maybe that's the reason why. Okay. Yeah, too bad.
Maybe.
I guess you have to be using a computer for that to work.
Maybe so.
I'm glad I didn't build a question around it. So, yeah, there we are. See, that was quick. That was simple, easy. 77 questions. We're done in, I mean, the quiz itself was probably about 40, 45 minutes. So.
50-ish minutes, yeah. Something along there.
Yeah, we've been on here chit-chatting. So,
who's told us to do next? Laszlo's doing the next one. Laszlo has said he's going to send us in a quiz, which is great. Kevin Ball said the maths quizzes are shy, so I'm going to get Kevin Ball to that as well. Calling you all out now, you pricks. I'll definitely have a go at one as well.
Well, I left the Liverpool questions, so I figured somebody else can do the Liverpool ones.
I'll do the Liverpool.
Then I wouldn't mind doing a live one because it's a real different dynamic doing the interactive audience quizzes and doing one on screen where you can just actually put a question to somebody and not give them a bunch of answers.
Yeah.
But we got hours to fill over the summer. We can't just be talking about made up transfer shit every show.
Tomorrow is a transfer show. Tomorrow. Me, Shawnee and Keith tomorrow. And then we'll probably be off for the weekend. We'll be back on Sunday. I might do some sort of draft or quiz for Sunday night because that just wrecks Shawnee.
Well, we gotta do our transfer or our season predictions.
Oh, Emmett will do them on.
Show.
Emmett will have them on. Oh,
I got some shouts I need to answer to.
Okay, cool. Well, then what we'll do is we'll organise something for next week when Emmett's available. Emmett's a very busy man. He has all the predictions, so we'll organise something for next week as well. So tomorrow is a transfer show. We'll be back on Sunday where we might do, I don't know what, we might do a mix of a quiz and some chat as well. We'll definitely do our predictions with Emma at some stage next week. And we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah.
We just make the sum up as we go along. We just make sure we try to have fun.
Speaking of making things up, Kevin Ball is saying that there's a transfer ready to go by tomorrow night, but he can't disclose the name yet.
Go away, Kevin Ball, for fuck's sake.
Reports are saying that McAllister's old man is flying into England tonight, so there could be some movement on the Alexis McAllister front come mañana, according to the local Argentine journos. So
Emma has
believe everything you read on the internet.
Emma has got all the predictions, so I'm going to pick a day next week to do that with Emma. I'll do it whenever it's convenient for Emma because he just pretends to be busy every night. It's Sunday night, we can only get hold of him, and then he just pretends to be busy doing other stuff. Do a prediction show. You all write down what happens next season, says Bonkers. We done a show last year, and I don't know, or maybe Emma just asked questions. So we might do an actual.
No, you had a whole format. It's in a notebook.
We might have. I don't know. But
down.
Bonkers, we'll do towards the start of the season. What we'll do is we might do a prediction show with us, but we might bring on a couple of viewers as well, and let them get involved as well. But that's what the summer's all about: having a bit of laugh, doing these quizzes, drafts, whatever else you can think of. I know. Chris and Kev definitely want to look back at the league winning season, over a couple of weeks period. So that's coming up as well over the summer. So there's loads of bits and pieces going on. The charity link is in the description. We're down to about.
What's the score of the game?
We're down to 3 or 4 little spots. We need what you call that word? Sponsored. We're down to 3 or 4 spots for €100 each. If anybody wants to take them up with me, lfcdaytrippers@gmail.com. If you have any prizes you want to give us, same email address. If you want to send us money to buy prizes, same email address. We'll go out and buy them. So if you can help in any way, please do. We're hoping that this golf day, along with what the girls have done already and what's been given to the GoFundMe already, will get us to about 15,000 of the 20,000 by the end of the golf day, which will leave 5,000 left, which we can definitely do by the time the Dublin Marathon comes around in October. So that's the biggest thing from tonight. The quiz was brilliant. Well done to Matt. Well done to everyone in the chat. Well done to everyone that took part. But we're on the
penalties on right now.
We're on the what?
There's penalties going on right
penalties
now.
on right now. Well, listen, we're on the home stretch for the golf day. What?
They only played extra time. We did a quiz and the time it took them to play.
Yeah, exactly.
15-minute extra time outs.
If, like I said, we're on the home stretch for the golf day, so if anyone wants to help out, give us a shout, and it'll be much appreciated, because every penny you give to us goes to the charity. Yeah, that's about it. We're going to let you go, watch the end of the penalties in Rome against Sevilla. It's one of those competitions in Europe. And we talk to you soon.
3-1 Sevilla.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Gav. Thanks to chat. Thanks to everyone. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.